Hey you guys, I'm Marsha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a really great recipe for you guys. I am showing you how to make an easy and super delicious chicken tortilla soup. Now, of course, this soup is packed with lots of juicy chicken breast meat, but then we add in some fire roasted tomatoes, some sweet corn, some beans, a few more veggies, and then those warm spices that really just makes this soup all come together. Now, of course, it's perfect for the fall and winter season, but honestly, you guys, you can have this soup all year long. It's really a great meal to eat and enjoy all throughout the year. Now, funny story about this recipe, I actually shared a sneak peek of the soup on my Instagram page, and y'all, I got so many comments of people wanting to see the full recipe and wanting me to show them how to make this soup. So if that is you and you're watching, then this video is for you as well, okay? All right, so before we get into it, as always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below along with the bell so you'll never miss when I upload a video. And without further ado, let's jump into the recipe. All right, so we're gonna start things off with our chicken. So I am using 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts for this soup recipe. So you can actually prepare your chicken a couple of different ways for this recipe. I prefer to boil my chicken, and the reason is because the way I boil my chicken breast, it ends up being like really tender and juicy and just fall apart chicken breast meat, and it's perfect for any type of soup or casserole dish. So that is the reason why I'm going to be boiling mine today. So I already have a detailed video on my channel on how to boil the perfect chicken breast, so I won't go into a lot of detail in this video, but I'll make sure to drop a link down below in the description box in case you want to check that out, because that is how I am going to prepare my chicken for this recipe. So while my chicken is boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and prep my veggies. All right, so I'm starting off by prepping our vegetables, starting with our red bell pepper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take all of the seeds out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up really good. All right, so I'm gonna scoot those bell peppers to the side and start working on my onion. So I have 1 small to medium sized onion, and I am going to use the entire onion. But if you have a larger onion, then you probably only need half of that large onion. All right, so now I'm going to start working on my jalapenos. So I have 1 jalapeno that I am going to de-seed. So I'm going to cut that open in half, and then I'm going to take the seeds out because the seeds are where the heat is, and you don't want that much heat. You want some heat, but not this much. All right, then I'm going to scoot those jalapenos to the side. So I'm going to chop up 3 cloves of garlic, and so I have some fresh garlic here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the skin off of my garlic, and then when it's actually time to add it to my soup, I will mince it up directly in the soup. All right, so now I'm putting my veggies to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and shred up my chicken. So I told you earlier that I prefer to boil my chicken for this particular recipe, and honestly any soup or casserole type dish, just because the way I boil my chicken, it comes out really tender and it just tastes really good in these recipes. All right, so I got my chicken shredded. All right, so for our spices, we are using a combination of some cumin, some chili powder, some smoked paprika, some oregano, and some salt. All right, so to a large pot, I am going to add some olive oil just to saute my vegetables and get them going. I have my stove turned on medium-high heat, and I'm gonna start with the bell peppers and onions. So I'm gonna go ahead and add those to the pot. And I just like to give that a good stir and let it hang out for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so once your peppers and onions have had a chance to cook for a few minutes, you can go ahead and add your jalapeno. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and mince the garlic right up inside the pot. All right, so next I'm gonna add some tomato paste. And then I actually like to kind of dilute the tomato paste with a little bit of water. All right, so now we're ready to add our seasoning, and I've already prepped mine ahead of time, so I showed you guys that already. And I recommend actually prepping your seasoning, like go ahead and do the measurements and just put it in a separate bowl so it is ready to go when it's time to just dump it in, because this recipe actually comes together pretty quickly once you start adding everything to your pot. All right, so now it's time to add some more good stuff. So we have some black beans that I've already drained and rinsed. I have some frozen corn that I'm just going to actually just dump right on in. You don't even have to cook it or thaw it because it will cook with the rest of your ingredients. I have some fire roasted tomatoes. And I'm actually going to go ahead and give all of this a stir really quickly. Then I have some diced tomatoes and chilies. And I'm just using the Rotel kind. This helps to also give it a kick, you guys. All right, so just give all of that a good stir. I'm gonna dump all of this chicken breast that I've already shredded right inside my pot. And then it's time to add our liquid, which is going to be chicken broth. So I am going to be adding 5 cups of chicken broth. All right, so we're gonna bring this up to a boil and then immediately turn it down to low to allow it to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so moving on to the fun part, you guys, it is our homemade tortilla strips. So I would highly recommend cooking these yourselves instead of buying some pre-made tortilla strips in a bag, because the fresh ones just taste 10 times, 100 times better. You want to start off with some corn tortillas. You can use flour, but corn tortilla strips taste a lot better. I've tried both. Now this is coming from somebody who typically doesn't even like corn tortillas, like if I'm eating them by themselves. But for the strips, if you're making like frying them and making like little crispy strips to add to your soup, then the corn tastes better, you guys. So trust me on that. All right, so starting with the skillet, you want to use like a really small skillet for this. You don't need like a big, large saute pan or skillet. Use something small. And I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil to my skillet. But yeah, it's really just the tortilla strips or the corn tortillas cut up in strips, some vegetable oil or canola oil, whatever you have on hand, and a little bit of sea salt at the end to just kind of, you know, add a little bit of salt flavor to them once you take them out of the skillet. So as soon as you take them out, you want to salt your tortilla strips. But other than that, that's it, you guys. It's super simple to make homemade tortilla strips to add to your chicken tortilla soup. All right, so once your soup is done and is finished simmering, you can go ahead and cut the temperature off. But 2 things you want to add to it right at the end are some fresh chopped up cilantro and some fresh lime juice. And trust me, you guys, these 2 things really do give the soup a lot of flavor. So I would not skip this part. So you can go ahead and cut your temperature off, then chop up some fresh cilantro, and then just squeeze in some fresh lime juice, stir it all around, and you'll be surprised how much extra flavor that will give the chicken tortilla soup. All right, so now you are ready to add whatever toppings you want to add, which I prefer to add some of the homemade tortilla strips, a little bit of sour cream, a little bit more fresh cilantro, but you can add some shredded cheese, some ripe avocado would be really good. But yeah, just experiment with the toppings, but at least now you know how to make a really awesome and super flavorful chicken tortilla soup. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe video. If you did, please hit that like button down below because that really helps my channel out. And let me know if you plan on making some chicken tortilla soup soon, especially now that we are in this fall soup type weather. So leave me a comment down below. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you'll always be notified when I post a new video. All right, friends, until next week, I will see you later.